Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Western India Regional Council of ICI, myself Shweta Jain, I welcome you all on this very interesting series, Women on Wednesday. And today we are going to hear on opportunity in finance. But before we start the formal session, I request everyone to please put your hand on your heart for the ICI motto.
य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति य एष सुप्तेषु जाग्रति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्विमाणः निर्विमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यपि कश्चन एतद्वैता 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 एतद्वैता.
Thank you. Friends, this year our team at WIRC is a blend of young energy and experience. So let me recognize the presence of Chairman of WIRC, CA Ankit Rathi, Secretary WIRC, CA Gautam Lat, and Treasurer WIRC, CA Pinky Kedia. Also, we have with us our speakers, Niharika and Neha. I welcome you both at platform of WIRC. Before handing over to the speakers, I request our chairman, C. Ankit Rathi ji, please say few words and share your vision and highlights. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Shweta madam. Very good evening, friends. At the outset, let me also recognize the presence of Dynamic Secretary, Western India Regional Council, Gautam Bhai, Treasurer Pinky madam, Women Committee Chairman, Shweta madam. Of course, both the panelists or both the speakers, CA Neha Bharadia and CA Niharika Jain. Thank you so much to both of you for accepting our invitation and being able to share your knowledge with the participants. Again, thank you so much. Let me also recognize and thanks to our today coordinator Neha Kedia. Thank you, Neha, for all your good work. Friends, let me share you the vision as specifically mentioned by the Shweta madam. This year, we at the Regional Council are doing the various things, various aspects. Let me share you one initiative which we launched especially for the women. Sometime before we launched the project called Project Punashya. Let me share you a few things about the Project Punashya. What is Project Punashya? What is the logic behind the Project Punashya? What we feel when at the time of visiting various tier 2, tier 3 cities, at the time of branch visit or study circle visit, we thought that various female members are unable to restart or rejoin after a certain breaks because of family reason. So what we one side we are talking about various opportunity in the various part of the globe. Okay, there is so much vacancy of ethical accountant or chartered accountant in various part of the global, and another side we are unable to place our female member because they not have a sufficient contact or connect with them. So what we thought we prepare a project called Project Punashya, in which we launch this project in our WRC website, in which any females member who wish to rejoin or restart their career as a flexi hour basis or work from home or assignment basis, they can write up in our website. Simultaneously, we provide all the data with the good CA firms or a good company who are looking for a chartered accountant. We already launched this project, and we also, before launching, we also trial this project. We hired 3-4 chartered accountant in our Gautam Lat secretary office, one from Porbandar, another from Jodhpur, third one from interior from Maharashtra, Mumbai only, somewhere from Kalyan, Dobiwali, and they all three are working really very good. So I request each one of you, if you are come across any such female who are looking for job from assignment basis or a flexi hour basis or work from home or even a work from office also, please do forward them. कि please do write on project Punashya, please upload their resume, updated CV, or of course our today series Women on Wednesday is also today series about the opportunity for women in finance. My especially thanks to again our both the speaker Neha and Niharika for choosing such a need of the hard topic. With this, I wish you all happy learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chairman, for the initiative of in terms of Punashya, which is much awaited, I can say, is like. And now I would request to Secretary Gautam Lat to please say something and highlight something about our activities and some more initiatives. Over to you. Uh, you're not audible.
हैंग हो गया लग रहा है इसका।
I think network issue. Meanwhile, request for profile reading or Gautam, if you can share something here. Gautam is with me also.
I'm sorry, I had some.
We can see Tutu Gautam.
There is some technical issue with my. Anyway, hello everyone.
Being smart in this PC.
Thank you, Chairman sir. So we have two wonderful speakers today, Neha and Niharika. Let me first thanks them for for this enlightening session which we will have. I'll just highlight a couple of activities we are going to have. So two things specifically in this month, we are on 26th, we are having a litigation series of 2 days on GST litigation. I am sure it will be useful for all of you. We are hosting at BKC ICAI. So whoever is interested, I request them to kindly take advantage of it. We will be having Commissioner of State Tax as a chief guest and Commissioner of CGST Appeals as a guest of honor, and very renowned faculties over there. The second and the very big event which is coming is on 3rd and 4th of May, which is a national conference on capital market. We have wonderful faculties, and I'm sure if you are interested in capital market, this is one event which you should not miss. For we are hosting it on 3rd and 4th May at Kandivali Terapanth Bhavan. So I'm sure looking forward to each one of you meeting in person at that event. These are the two events which we are doing recently, and a lot of events are there. I request everyone to kindly follow our WIRC website. One quick request I have to make from I want to make on behalf of WIRC, that we sometimes we do hear certain negative news about chartered accountants. See, whatever we are today is because of these two letters C, and we are very proud of it. So I request everyone to kindly refrain from forwarding any messages on social media. I'm not saying that वो CA ने गलत किया होगा, सही किया होगा. It's a request that let us not forward or spread negative news about our professional brothers. We have disciplinary mechanism, we have mechanism to handle if there are any grievances. So let us refrain and write positive things about it. We are doing under the able leadership of our chairman C Ankit Rathi, we are doing many brand building activities at our ICI. We are training, we are engaging almost with all the regulators. Yesterday we were with the commissioner of state tax Maharashtra, who looks after entire Maharashtra state GST. We have done trainings with SEBI, we are doing with Maharashtra Electricity Board, with RBI, with the ATS, with police department, with EOW. So a lot of brand building exercises going on, at WIRC level. The same thing I request from my members that, if you can spread positive news about our CA profession and let us, ignore the negative part or negative media, it will be really helpful, and we can take our brand to newer heights. That's it from my side. Thank you so much, Shweta ma'am, for the opportunity and organizing this wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Secretary. Completely echo with your words. So now time to hear from our very talented and eminent speakers under this series, because this series has started with the intention to promote women chartered accountant as a faculty. And I'm really happy to see you both here on this panel. But before handing over to you, I would request to Treasurer Pinky Kedia to please a quick introduction for both of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Shweta. And thank you, Ankit, Chairman of the WIC, for selecting this unique topic because we all females say think about that finance का काम है तो वो females नहीं कर सकते, वो male dominated ही है. But thanks to Neha and Niharika, both are doing very good in this finance world, and they will be the guidance force for all the female CA, that we female also can do finance sector work. So thank you, Neha and Niharika, to accept our invite for this wonderful session, or this enlightened session. So now I want to take a task of introduction of our both the speakers. They both are looking same. So it's very difficult to find who is Neha and who is Niharika. So
I'm Neha. I'm Niharika.
but in on screen both are looking same only. So, yeah. So Niharika with 8 plus year of experience at a big four audit firm and large listed manufacturing company. Niharika is a fellow chartered accountant and cleared all three level CFA US. She is skilled at in-depth sector and company research, and her strengths include quick adaptability, diversified experience, microanalytical skills, and data crunching. Being inspired by her father at a young age, she loves to paint, read, and travel to new destinations on her day off. So, welcome Niharika. And about the Neha Bharadia drives growth at Equities Investment Consulting Private Limited. And this company is today one of the Asia's top performing fund house. Her academic qualification is CA with a summer diploma in corporate finance and judgment and decision making from Harvard University. Neha has been a meritorious student and a part of the dean list during her underday at HR College. And her work experience she is a versatile candidate. She started her journey with Walford Financial Services Limited, where she wore various heads across audit, research, and compliance, an active member of the Edge community. Through her strong impersonal and communication skills, she has been instrumental in leading equities globally. From being a panel member at the closed door roundtable conducted at National Stock Exchange to being one of the delegates to represent India internationally in Indonesia. So it's a big achievement that you are only the from India. So it's a proud moment for us also. And her hobby is to writing and sketching, playing table tennis, and travel. So Neha, thank you. And he is a new mother also. So congratulations, Neha, for that also. And
Thank
I want
you.
all the participants to hear them and to take points from them कि how female can also do better in this sector. And वो एक टेबो जो है कि सिर्फ मेल ही ये फील्ड में आ सकते हैं, प्लीज रिमूव दैट टेबो फ्रॉम योर माइंड and work in that field. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Pinky madam. Before we start our technical session, my request to each one of participants. Friends, we have a one tab at our WRC website called My Role at the WRC. We request each one of you if you can write yourself as a coordinator, if you wish to become a coordinator or a speaker, or if you want to contribute in any other way, like author in any publication house, or you thought कि यार we as a regional council member we need to do so much a program or seminar or conference, please do write, or at the rate my role at the WRC, we looking forward to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pinky, for introducing us. I will take a moment to thank WIRC and our chairman today, as well as Gautam ji and Ms. Shweta. Thank you for giving us this opportunity and platform to address our women fraternity and to share our journey. Today, even if we manage to, motivate even few of you, we will consider our journey accomplished. Furthermore, we have something very exciting to reveal at the end, so stay tuned through today's session. Niharika, let's begin.
Hi friends, good evening, and let me start the session by asking all of you that how many of you know that co-founder and CFO of Zomato is a women chartered accountant? Also, recently a women chartered accountant was selected under Forbes under 30 under 30. And we women, as leaders of financial market in India, are just killing it. Like right from a finance minister to SEBI chief to former NSE chairman, every seat and position is being held by women. But is that the reality? Is that the ground reality? I'm saddened to tell that it is not. Only 15% of KMPs right now are women. Only 15%. And I was just reading recently that 43% of chartered accountants who clear are now women. And this statistics was only 20%, I think, in 2019 and 8% few years back. So the growth of women chartered accountant is commendable. But again, if you see that we have almost 2,400 NSE listed companies, however, only 45 of those companies have women CFOs or women director finance. Also, also, so NSE's market cap is now going to touch $5 trillion. It is enormous size now versus Indian economy size, which is $3.7 trillion. However, even in metros, women participation of equity market is only 7%. So it is very glaringly visible that there is a gap. And if I talk about my own personal observation, so when I started my chartered accountancy journey, 50% of my batch was almost of women. And when I went to audit and taxation, again, half of my team, more than half of my team was formed of women. But as soon as I joined Equitas, as soon as I entered investment and capital market, I realized that there is a wide gender gap. It is disproportionately tilted towards men. And so, why is it so? Is it because we lack skills, or is it that lack of awareness that we have? Or is it a rocket science, or is it a big black box, or is it something a woman cannot do? So, and when I walk into a meeting right now, I realize that more often than not, I am the only one on the table. There are hardly any women out there. So today, me and Neha are not going to talk to you about any traditional opportunities of finance. जब से CA join किया, I think we already know about taxation and audit and all of that. So we are going to talk to you about our own journeys because it's a very different journey we had, like both of us. Still, we were able to end our journey at a dream job at Equitas here right now. So how did we end up here? So we want you to go on a ride with us, and we want to help you shatter the ceilings because thankfully it is made of glass. So coming back to you, Neha, while for me chartered accountancy was a one-shot thing, but I know and that I've heard that it was a very difficult, full of hurdles for you. So take us through your journey and tell us how a CA landed up in business development.
So, like most of you, back in college, I developed the love or interest for accountancy. And I saw most of my friends were doing one thing. If they like accounts, they were taking up chartered accountancy. So I joined the same, not realizing the complexity of the course. I began, and sooner than I could realize, I actually cleared the inter CA and I reached the finals. But a reality check आया. That's when I realized this is more complex than I had thought. I failed and I kept failing. So there came a change, and there was a part of me that started giving up. I started questioning, क्या मुझ में ही कुछ कमी है? That's what happens with most of us. But I also was 24 by then, and like others, I got married. Most people, when they shift into this phase of their life, women give up their dreams. In my case, trust me, I had given up. But it was my grandfather in law who made me forcefully restart. So his commitment to CA was another extent. He would come outside the exam hall. I would see a man standing in dhoti, eagerly waiting. And there are instances when your paper doesn't go well and you come out with a sad face. But he would just say one thing to me: smile, all is well. This taught me a very simple but life changing thing, that attitude means everything. So, if you have a positive attitude that you will do something, you will eventually achieve it. You will find your roots to it. I was a newlywed couple, so we also faced a lot of challenges on that front because as a newlywed, you have a lot of social commitments. I had to cut out myself and give CA everything at that point of time. But luckily, it all paid out. And at the end, when the results were actually announced, before I could sink in the results, it was my grandfather-in-law who had called the rest of the world saying, "Meri bahu CA ban gaye." And that was what I realized, that that's the significance of this degree. Furthermore, I began my work life. Yes, like Miss Pinky just said, that I also have a summer diploma from Harvard, but I can fairly conclude this today that you may have numerable degrees and they are definitely the icing on the cake. But CA is good enough for you to enter any career anywhere. Taking you through to my work life now, I began with working at the accounts bit with respect to our cloth business, then moved to the internal audit and accounting at Walford. Everything was going well, but something didn't seem complete. It just felt that, there is something more and I'm missing something. It's been a taboo at my family to actually do a job, so that was something to be totally out of the box. And बट वो बोलते हैं ना, अगर आप कोई चीज से मना करोगे उसको करने की अर्ज और ज्यादा बढ़ जाती है. So me and my husband started to plan now that let's test waters, let's take our chances and see what is there outside. Because as bosses at Wolford, like I belong to the family, so as bosses, you don't tend to learn as much as what you can learn when you start from the grassroots level. So that was the main urge to learn. Came across Siddharth Bhaiya, our CIO of Equitas. It was actually a career guidance meeting that I came for. I was trying to understand, can I study more? The career guidance led to a career leap, and sooner than I could imagine, it led to a job offer. Now, in a way, I felt, wow, there is mujh mein bhi kuch hai. I can do something. Wow, I just got this. But there were certain apprehensions. By then, I had turned a mother to a 14-month-old child, and somewhere I started feeling that if I take a 9 to 5 job, will it be too overwhelming for him? But then came a thought that, if I don't do this and he grows up, and he says this, "Mama, आप तो CA हो, but आपने तो कुछ नहीं किया." I didn't want to live with that either. Then came the apprehensions from my stock marketer family. So they said it's the perfect company, but it's the imperfect role, business development. So then I decided that let me go back to Siddharth and confidently speak to my CIO that I think I'm making a reverse offer. I want the analyst role. He said, "Neha, I would reject this, and I'm glad today that he rejected my plea." He said two things to me. One, that you are a people's person. I think you will be cut out for networking. You will be able to service clients better. And second, research takes 14 to 15 hours a day, which is something you currently are debating for flexibility and one day work from home. So, of course, we cannot give you that. So then it was a fair point, I realized, and I thought, okay, let me sink in on this. Now, let me tell you what was stock market knowledge for me. So, for me, my limited scope knowledge was back when I was 10-year old and I used to go to my father's office during Mohra trading, and he would say, "Beta, enter the bow, acha trade hoga." So, all I knew about the markets was just that. But today I have landed up in business development. It's been 1.5 years and I am loving it. So, Niharika, let's get to you now. Let's understand. It's been a maze with your journey. You have worked in diverse areas for 7 to 8 years, and finally you made it in equity. So, how did you land up in your dream job?
So I think, like most of you here, like most of you, I also wanted to get into equity or get into investment field somehow. How should I get it? I had no idea. Did I have a clear path? No. So I come from Raipur, which is in Chhattisgarh, and I completed my schooling and most part of my chartered accountancy from there. And after I cleared my CA, I sat for campus placement and got selected by PwC Big Four, and I joined the statutory audit department. Looking back, was it a good choice? Was it a thought through decision? No, it wasn't. Did I have a vision while joining it? No, absolutely not. I just took the first opportunity, the first door that opened up for me after my clearing CA, and I took it. I was very excited for my first job and it was a good learning for me. I learned the best processes, I learned how to excel in Excel, and I learned how to navigate the meetings. But after a point, I wasn't enjoying it because one, our team was very big. And I just want to make this point also that in initial part of your career, if the team is big, you only get to see a very narrow portion. So your learning is also very limited, and that was what happening to me. I was only able to see a very small portion of audit and not the whole comprehensive picture. So I thought, why not laterally move in the big four, maybe to due diligence or maybe to like do MBA or something. But well, life had other plans. I had to shift to my hometown, Raipur again. And I realized in a tier 2 city, it is extremely difficult to find a job you want to. Either I had to compromise on the learning or I had to compromise on the profile. So I decided that okay, it is initial part of my career, why not go for learning rather than the pay? So I joined a mid-sized CA firm because the learning was very attractive. I learned financial modeling, estimating, making estimates, valuing business, banking side of things, and all of that. But again, after a point, I realized that now I cannot compromise on the pay any longer, and I also miss that corporate feel of it. So I thought, let me move to now a listed company and experiment myself. So I joined a metal company, listed company of Raipur, and I initially joined costing and then moved to treasury and notes to accounts also. What that did for me was now I could relate one expense entry to how it looks in an annual report. For a chartered accountant, the basics were all clear after this. So it was a good learning, and alongside this, I was also pursuing my CFA. And my investment journey also started somewhere around this time. And I'm embarrassed to tell you that few of the investment were blunders, of course. I just read few blogs and all of that, and I made some investments. Two, three of investments which I made that time have not even broken even yet. Why do I have that in my demat? Still, it is a lesson for me. The market has rallied what 3x from then, and I still have not made any money on them. Of course, I got better with investment journey. And so coming back to my journey, I got married. I got married in peak COVID, and I shifted to Nagpur, which is another tier 2 city. This time, my struggle for finding a job was totally different. I was being asked from other people that why do you need money? You already have your husband's firm. Why don't you join it? Why are you even negotiating about money? And I think as women, a lot of us must have faced the question that why is the need of money? And I was like, okay, I'm not compromising anymore on this. So I took a break and I joined my husband's firm for a while. And once the COVID subsided, one day my husband told me, why don't you start your investment journey again? What is stopping you now? So I started looking for jobs in financial sector again. And to my dismay, I got call from none. I started with emailing them and all of that, but I didn't get any call. And I had a sudden realization that my 7, 8 years of experience is now my hindrance. No one wants to take an experienced chartered accountant into a new sector. So then I took a very bold step. I took a step which was very unconventional, and I thought, let me not look for a job. Let me start looking for internship. Imagine a 8 year experienced chartered accountant taking a break from job and looking for an unpaid internship. I was that desperate to learn. I was like, okay, I am okay to let go that 6 months and 12 months of pay and get internship and get learning and get an entryway into financial market. And lucky for me, I got calls from two, three very good fund houses, and one of them was Equitas. When I talked to Siddharth, who, like Neha told, is our CIO, I realized for him, my to set my basics right was priority. And for him, I wasn't an intern who's just going to be there to, punch numbers on the models. I was going to get my basics straight, and of course, that was an obvious choice that I joined here. So, in my 5 to 6 months of internship here, it was like just reading and reading and reading. I used to it was gruesome. I used to read 12 to 14 hours a day, 4 newspapers, and then one book a week, and like so much more. But after a point, like I also did what more than what they asked me for. But I got my basics right after this, and at the end, I got onboarded as research analyst at Equitas, and that is how I ended up at my dream job. Now, the whole journey we both told you so elaborately. wasn't to toot our own horns कि यार बहुत ही कुछ उखाड़ लिया इन्होंने तो. No, not at all. It was to tell you that it is okay to restart again and again and again till the time you do not reach in a place where you enjoy or it doesn't fit your skill set. And I literally have more job changes than my dad, who has 3 decades of experience. My career line doesn't look straight. It literally looks like crooked, a maze. But I feel that if we can do, then even you can. And that is the whole point of us taking you through our own journeys. So that was from my side. Coming back to Neha, now a lot of women here would also be mothers like you. And they may have faced apprehensions and that mom guilt. So, how does one overcome that?
Niharika, learning can begin anywhere. To be honest, something that happened with me was my child's maid said, भाभी काम करना है तो अभी शुरू कर लो, बाद में नहीं देखेगा तो आदत नहीं लगेगी. That was a very simple thing from someone not so educated telling me. And then the second move that happened by my little Einstein husband was that, he said, let's do this thing. For 30 days in a row, our child will come to drop you to office. Because of which, and sometimes he would even come up, कि मम्मा कहाँ जा रही है, साथ में चलता हूँ. Now, when he came up and when he saw me do this for 30 days, he developed an acceptance that, okay, mama also goes to office. Now, from being upset about my work hours, and he used to not give me the right attention when I would come back home. He would be really angry at me, while the father would do the same, but he would not be upset at him. But because of this move came that acceptance, and now he welcomes me with both his arms. So I think this is a very small trick, but it worked, wonders. Another one thing I want to touch upon is please don't break for too long. Sometimes we think that, we'll take a big gap and come back later, but we don't realize we get so disconnected that it becomes difficult to come back than the first time that we ever tried. It becomes more difficult than the start. So, keep that gap slightly low. Furthermore, when we anticipate we are going to have a child or we are going into a new phase in our life, even before we leave, we actually leave. So we don't go out to get for promotions. We don't want to take those chances saying that okay, अब 2 साल में तो मैं settle ही होने वाली हूँ, so let me not try. But why? I have now seen a big shift where mothers are also working till their 9 months, and we can do it. So only make changes when they really happen and when they come in your life for real. Women have been a lion's share in terms of childcare, taking the kids to school or taking care of elderly, grandparents, because of which somewhere they've got caught up. And in the talent pipeline, the women have got lost even before they could go up the hierarchy ranking. I think that there's another important aspect, like you said, the mother guilt. So I started becoming a victim of the same. I would spend 2 hours with my child on a daily basis before he would go to bed, but I would do it with guilt, while my husband would do the same thing guilt free. So, who actually was spending that quality time? Of course, not me. So, I think it's very important to switch on and switch off those buttons and not worry about them. Today, your child will grow up and eventually have his own career. But what is it that you will have? Is the career that you made for yourself. So while you're nurturing your child, make sure you're nurturing your career too. So Niharika, I'm sure a lot of women here would want to know, how does your day look like as a research analyst?
So, as they say, Neha, your average of 5 people you surround yourself with. And today I get to work with some of the brightest minds of India, and in a very healthy and competitive environment. I think it is very underrated how a healthy environment can bring your growth and how that competitiveness just keeps that growth growing, like basically that zeal there. So, and I just want to share this fact with every one of you that 50% of all the teams here are made of women, are consisting of women. 50% of research team, more than 50% of BD, and even compliance here at Equitas has women chartered accountants. So we can be everywhere. Now, coming to your question, how a day looks like, it is not a rocket science that we do. Let me tell you that. So a typical day for me here looks like we come as research analyst. I'll come here and we have to read at least 3 to 4 newspapers a day. We'll go through all the company's announcements, and that is how that the idea generation exercise is there. Half of our day sometimes goes only into reading and reading and reading. इनिशियली तो मैंने लिटरली बॉस को जाके बोला था न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ने के लिए रखा है क्या आपने, लाइक इतना रीडिंग. Still daily religiously we have that 1 hour meeting which is like an open forum and where all the brainstorming happens. Anything which like looks interesting to me or to anyone else would just come in that meeting. I can tell you, even on my first day of joining, I had a voice at the table. I was asked like, "Aaj kya acha laga? What was your idea? What was your like anything news which was interesting to you?" So that is how a day looks like. And I'll also want to touch a bit upon how the research process is, because I think some of you want to know that how like what goes into a research process or what goes into a stock picking. So of course it will be very different from organization to organization based on investment thesis and all of that. But here at Equitas, we just want to pick future multi-baggers. In one line, I can just say that. Now, how do we do that? One, we do our own research, and that comes from all the idea generation that has happened because of reading news and connecting the dots, and reading a lot of history also. Because as they say, history doesn't repeat, but it definitely rhymes. So we do all that idea generation from top down, bottom up, all of that. And then we want to pick the leader companies which are available at good valuations and also who have good promoter holding, good balance sheet, all of that. It is not that difficult. But like it may sound simple, but I find that it is very difficult to execute. People do not have the patience to hold and they just cut their winners. But like by following these simple principles, here at Equitas, we have generated what 36% CAGR returns over last 10 years. So it is like only by following discipline, you can generate so much wealth in financial sector. Coming back to Neha now. So do you feel, Neha, that there is a lack of awareness in women when it comes to financial investment? And why do you think it is very crucial for their inclusion?
So there's a data by Morningstar that says that not more than 9% of the women are in the fund management and investment management industry. So that itself, take it in a positive way, I'll say. So that means that the financial service industry, through its diversity, don't go by its face value, can be quite attractive for women. So as women, we save money, but we don't invest. Further, we inherit assets but have no clue about it. So I am urging each woman here who's joined in today and to anyone else that you can pass on to, that get involved in your family wealth, understand and indulge in the finance planning. The biggest misconception that most women have is I'm not good at it. Who said this is lack of confidence? Traditionally, women have been in charge about their household budgets. If you've seen your mother or your grandmother, you would resonate with what I'm saying today. And they have been able to multitask it in such a beautiful way that maximize the return with the minimum cost. So I yet remember my mother would always have some portion of savings in spite of that. So I think we are cut out for this, and we should understand that traditionally, you can also divide your portfolio to have some kind of equity, cash, real estate, and gold exposure. Now, we have to keep in mind that different age bracket women will have different goals. So, for a 20-year-old woman, she will have a long term vision. She can afford an equity exposure. But at the same time, a 60-year-old woman might have to go for generating income avenues like bonds or equity paying dividend. So we have to go for themes and sectors that we can understand, we can relate, read about that, understand, and drive your portfolio accordingly. That is my general overview. But you're the expert here. So I'll say, how can an amateur investor develop investing skills and avoid making mistakes in the market?
So let me tell you on the skills part first, Neha, that, and I just want to like put it very loud and clear that CA is enough. The degree CA is enough. We can do any role available in financial market. Anything you do above is well and good, But we are so good with reading financials, we know how to read annual reports, and we are so disciplined. So I do not think that there's any role that we CAs in financial sector cannot do. Now, of course, there are few things which you might add to your daily life, which can like give you that extra edge. Like simple things like changing your newspaper. You can change your newspaper from Times of India to Financial Times or Economic Times. It will help you get very comfortable with the jargons and get comfortable in connecting the dots and what is happening in the economy and basically building your own database. And then you can also do like reading history of, like I told you, read history of the market, because you realize that the cycles repeat and you can just take advantage of cycle for that matter. And third is realize your position's advantage. I know that some of you might be say in a metal sector, or you must be working in a paper company or anywhere. Like if you are in an industry, or you if you have your family business in some industry, use that to your advantage. Suppose you are in a metal sector, you know it better than the rest of us. Read annual report, read other companies, metal companies' annual report, the annual reports of companies who are consuming this metal, or probably the raw material suppliers of metal. So you can just do so much in that one sector. You can make money in one niche market or in a niche sector as well. You do not need to do a lot. Also, I would encourage you to have that vision and hard work. If you have vision and if you do not have, like, if you do not do the hard work for it, it is like of no point. And if you only do hard work without any vision, you would reach nowhere. So, like, sit and plan and have both. And of course, as we always say, please practice delayed gratification. Nothing is going to come easy and fast. Now, on the mistakes part, Neha, one, of course, I would say is please do not listen to influencers and do not take shortcuts. Take investing as a, because you are going to invest in a real business and we are talking about real money here. So please see that you only do it professionally, you read about it and then you invest. It is not a shortcut way of making money. And like CA took us what, 5 years? You cannot say that 5 YouTube का videos, 5 reels देख के मुझे आ जाएगा. No, it is an art. You need to be like, you should learn it, and it cannot be taught. It is basically like cooking जैसे बोलते हैं. So cooking cannot be taught. It can be learned. So investing, you can like start slowly, learn yourself through it, build your database, and that is how you can like at least avoid making blunders. And at least as CAs, we should use that to our advantage. I was also reading that like as a edge that we CAs have, we have 15 odd crores demat accounts and only 4 lakh chartered accountants registered members. So imagine we are above the 99.7% of demat account holders. Why don't we take that to our advantage? It is all about numbers, and who can be better at numbers than chartered accountants. So Neha, now you chose a very unconventional role for a CA, and which is sales. So tell us more.
So as women, we are said that this is not your cup of tea, but do you know who makes that tea and serves it to you too? So I think that's where my line is, that as women we have always been good at multitasking and hustling, and business development is nothing but hustling. So CA provides me the entry, the gateway to any forum globally, and business development gives me the chance to enjoy that event from the front stage. So that is what BD is. Furthermore, I get the chance to meet entrepreneurs and visionaries, first entrepreneurs. Otherwise, if I was doing a desk job, I would be only reading about them in autobiographies. But today, I get to meet them, listen to their story, and imbibe and learn from them. So, CA driving growth at the organization. I am responsible for client facing. So, right from explaining the product to the client to the time of their onboarding and then servicing them through the journey of years that they are invested with us. So, I have come across certain instances that I would like you to, get to know. Firstly, people take you very seriously when you say I am a chartered accountant. That's full stop. You don't need any more introduction when you're even selling product, because they know that okay, it's coming from someone who knows their work. Very recently, this happened on a call with me. where a potential investor from Australia had called and he said, Ma'am, you have to be a chartered accountant. So I said, How do you know? I never told you about it. So he said, Because I've called 8 PMS houses before this and nobody knew what they were selling. So definitely CA gives us that cutting edge and is giving me my cutting edge. As CA, some people say we can't be good at sales. I don't know how can't we be. I think everything is about selling something to someone. So that's a change in itself. There are very few fund managers, women fund managers in India. Is it really that difficult to crack it?
Absolutely not. I think, Neha, we are born fund managers. And I'll tell you why do I think so. So I think all of us must have that plan, like we would have that kid ka birthday planning or puja ka kuch planning or some family function which we needed to plan. Now, how did we go about it? जैसे ही पता पड़ा कुछ प्लान करना है, we had that vision कि यार वो दिन ऐसा सब दिखना चाहिए. But the second thing you do is you'll go and check the weather, that what can be that weather that day. Is it going to be rainy? And then you'll probably place your guest inside. And if it is sunny and nice, then probably you will place your guest outside. Now, how do you like go next? You'll select the vendors. Now, I want the best decorators, I want the best caterers, and then you would negotiate with them and get the best value worth of your money. And you would want the best of the lot at the end, and you would want to select a theme based on what is trending. Suppose it's a kid's birthday, तो मुझे पता होगा बॉस बेबी का नया मूवी आया है, so probably the theme would be based on the latest what is trending. And at the end, what is the purpose of this whole exercise and this whole planning that we did? It was that कि यार guest खुशी से जाए, so that the guests are happy. This is all what fund management is. What does a fund manager do? Like how you wanted your guests to be happy at the end of it, the fund manager wants the investors to be happy. He wants that he is able to make better returns for the investors than anyone else and able to beat the market. The second, how you placed your guest inside and out based on the weather. That is how the fund manager would place his bets, seeing the weather of the economy or cycles of the economy. How you selected vendors best at the best value is how a fund manager would pick the stocks, like the best of the lot, but at the best of the value also. And how you selected that trending theme is how he will select the sector where to put the money in by maybe like a government policy is going to come and it is going to trend and that is how it is going to be done. So I believe that we women are born negotiators, we are born planners, and we're so meticulous at whatever we do. So I don't think that there is nothing that is stopping us other than ourselves. And like going ahead, Neha, I know that I'm decent at my desk job and all of that, which I told you. But I get real goosebumps when I'm being asked to speak publicly. I'm still having some. So can you just tell that how to like overcome it and how to go about it?
So every woman is breaking ceiling somewhere in a new challenging role. CA gives us a very strong academic, but somewhere the softer skills are yet not available. Yes, ICI has started a very good initiative with the GMCS course, but that is a short course, right? So we all need to get ourselves to some more value addition by doing a group discussion or a public speaking course, something like a Toastmaster or any community group in your town. It could be in the city, it could be in the remote areas. You can do it online, you could do it physically. But the point is of being able to overcome those fears. To be honest, one summer I myself did the Indo American public speaking course, and it is helping me move mountains till date. So I will urge each one of you to find such value addition, areas that you could indulge in. Furthermore, what happens is as CAs, we have always been in the four walls of studying. So we've not dealt with the outside world. That's the reason why we are lacking on this front, while MBAs in the last year get a lot of exposure to something like this. So I think we all should try to do this. If you think I was not nervous or I am not nervous, I think it just comes with practice. Sometimes in my first set of meetings, I would think, should I not do this? Should I say this? Should I not? And then I had a mentor who said, what's the worst that could have happened if you would have said it? So that's when he handheld me And luckily, that became my mantra from that day on. Can you, Niharika, give us a bird's eye view on the opportunities which may be available for my friends here?
So, like I said earlier, Neha, that I am not going to talk about anything of traditional roles or opportunities available for women because I already think that we know and you would know more than me about maybe audit and taxation and all those fronts. But I'll be briefly touching on the opportunities that might be available in the financial segment. Of course, all the opportunities which I'm telling you would require a different kind of a skill set. So make sure that you choose one which suits your personality best and also which brings out the best in you. Like I knew that I am like very meticulous with my work. I love Excel, love numbers, and I love learning about new businesses. And of course, I want to make a lot of money. But I knew that this role is perfect for me, and I did everything I could to land here. And that is what I want to encourage you. Like Amir Khan said in that movie Three Idiots, that success nahi excellence के पीछे भागो, success झक मार के पीछे आएगी. So find a role which suits your personality the best. Now let's talk about where and all we can find opportunities. So I'll just give you a like very broader area that where you can get financial market opportunity. So let's start with the company and say that the company wants to raise funds. Now how the company can raise funds? It can be in two ways. One is through debt and one is through equity. Now debt can be via bank and let's see what roles can be available in bank. Banking may there would be like a wholesale banking, commercial banking and consumer lending system. There would be roles for CA for say credit manager, credit analyst. There's another department there which is called as forex or maybe derivatives and treasury management basically. What this department does is it helps a company who has foreign exposure to hedge their foreign currency exposure through derivative instrument. That is also a very interesting area to work in. Now coming to equity, suppose a company decides that I want to raise equity, so it can be done again in two ways, like we know. One is through public and one is through private. Now, public can be done through IPO, which can be through SME board or maybe on the main boards of NSE and BSE. And the private placement again can be like done through PE funds. Now, who manages all of these are mainly merchant bankers and investment banker. Now, let me be clear because somehow people do not understand that investment bankers has nothing to do with investment. They are the facilitators, and those people are the mediators between buyers and the sellers. Someone who wants to deploy funds and someone who wants to have funds. So, generally, investment banks have three, four major departments, and one of them would be private equity, which kind of deals with private equity system. Second would be M&A, which is mergers and acquisition, who help with the deal. Third would be due diligence, and fourth is ECM, which is equity capital market. And this ECM is the one who helps in all the IPO filings, underwritings, and all of that. And I can tell you, like, I think last year, 2023, India was ranking number one in the number of IPOs which had come. So imagine the kind of opportunity we have there. Now, other than this, there are other opportunities available which we should definitely explore. One is IBC, which is Insolvency Bankruptcy Code. It recently came in 2016, and again, it has opened so many opportunities for us. You can join a IT firm, or if you have 10 years of experience, then you can give the exam, or there is a 2-year course also after which you can become an RP. Then there is another, like we all know that every company has to get a rating done if they want loan. And we all know like CRISIL, ICRA, all those four good rating agencies, and you can get yourself as equity research, or credit analyst or credit research role there. Then there are some new roles also which seems very interesting, and that is I feel like suppose companies would have promoters, and these promoters generally have family fund houses. So again, there would be tax planning, structuring of those family fund houses. Again, a very good, interesting role. And these promoters also do succession planning and estate planning, which is basically ring fencing of their assets. So these are again some new roles. And I know a lady, I'm forgetting the name, but she is in Kotak and she has developed a niche. 17 years she has like led this estate planning market. So this estate planning sector. So even if you pick one sector and kind of get deeper into it and develop a niche, you're going to just like get so successful. There are some other areas also like fund houses like ours is Equitas. So we have like buy side research analyst here and then fund managers of course. And similarly, there are broking houses who have sell side analysts who prepare research reports. and give it to like HNI clients and other houses. And then, of course, the traditional roles, and all these roles would have due diligence, compliance. If you feel that you have the tact of legal knowledge and you are a CA, all these roles would have a compliance side to it also. And all the deals and everywhere you will have due diligence done. So make sure you kind of know your skill set and place yourself somewhere. I can just summarize in like two lines that anywhere you find money, you can be sure of finding the role of a chartered accountant there. And money is everywhere, and so a CA can be. So now I think we are approaching almost end of our kind of discussion. So Neha, do you have any more advice that you would want to give?
I think one thing we haven't spoken about and has remained untouched is about the importance of brand building.
Yeah.
So it's very important, LinkedIn, Twitter, these are the places where you can indulge and you can do it from anywhere. So, what is really stopping you? Is it that who's listening? You can share your opinions, views, you can follow like minded people, you can understand and learn and grow from their journey, from, certain influencers who share their mistakes or how they came up in life. And that is something that could be very insightful. Furthermore, as women in finance, we do not see many opportunities for ourselves, right? It is very lack of opportunities that come, and most of you would say that with me. So when you get that, make sure you grab it. To be honest, now there is a shift where employers are going for diversification with respect to employment. So you tend to now women get a golden opportunity. So shine on when you get that. Furthermore, like you just said, boardrooms.
Yeah.
So in a boardroom situation, you are barely seeing any women there. Again, if you are a part of a boardroom discussion, remember, if you speak, you will be forced to be heard by everybody because you're one against those many. So that's another avenue to look at. Read and reread everything that motivates you. Have mentors and don't waste significant time thinking what the society thinks about you. Rather, start caring what you care about yourself rather than thinking what the society cares of you. So, those are my closing notes. Niharika, one last question. Do you have any mentors that you look up to?
Yes, I do have one, and I strongly encourage for every one of us to have one mentor who inspires us. So my mentor is a lady chartered accountant from my hometown, Raipur, and from like since I was a very like small kid, she has been inspiring me. So she started her career from a very small traditional practice firm, and she has just moved her way up slowly and steadily. She was one person who always used to take that next thing, new thing which is up, and she used to be like the first person to take all the challenges. From that traditional small CA firm, she has created an empire of herself. Now she's an entrepreneur. Because she used to try every new thing, she had that first mover advantage also. Now she has an empire of renewable energy space. And even when today I go and meet her, I would find her like 300 400 pages prints on her desk. And then I'm like, okay, what are you reading? Like, is this something new or what? बोले हाँ कुछ नया नया पॉलिसी आया गवर्नमेंट का आई जस्ट वांट टू नो इफ देयर इज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर मी टू लुक इनटू so she just wants to know the what's the next new thing she can try on. I just love that zeal about her. She's so senior yet more zeal than I think I see in lots of like youngsters. So so I feel that we should all have that mentor, and so we can get inspired every time we meet them. And I also want to add because I kind of lost somewhere that like how in 90s internet brought a sea full of opportunities for us. All the barriers were gone and India flourished. The IT sectors flourished for us. I think same happened with COVID. Like now it is a very golden opportunity for us women. Now that all systems are in place, we have that comfort of getting that flexi working wala benefit. Now we can work for good corporates and good companies at the comfort of our home. I know because I come from a tier 2 city, I understand that thing that you do not get like in tier 1 you get a lot of companies to work in. Tier 3, tier 4 mein nahi hai opportunities and we tend to compromise either on the pay, they do not pay much, and either you do not get to learn. So I feel that we should take advantage of this COVID situation that now all systems are in place. we can do flexi working with the benefit, with the comfort of our home. So let's not stop ourselves, let's not compromise on our pay, and let's look into new avenues where we can work in. We are chartered accountants, and I do not think that there's anything that we cannot do. Uh,
50% of our team at Equitas is women, and most of them here are CAs. While preparing for this session, Niharika and me had an idea that while we have been lucky to have mentors who have guided us and handheld us, but in our career journey, we would like to take this opportunity to give it back to our CA fraternity. We plan to work alongside with ICI to provide a mentorship to women. More updates on the same will be shared on the portal as well as Equitas' LinkedIn and Twitter handheld. I'd also, before we break into for questions, I'd like to tell you about a couple of books that you must read. And someone has already asked us that in the chat box. Books that we recommend. To be honest, we have only two criteria. When we have joined this job, we have only two criteria that we have to fulfill. One is 16 days workout in a month. So we are, health is wealth. And second is to read, because reading is your biggest asset to enter anywhere. Uh, we ourselves had to read about 5 books to join the job, so that's a prerequisite. We recommend you to begin with books like One Up on Wall Street, Pitch Anything, The Most Powerful Women in the Room Is You, Letter by Warren Buffett, and the documentary King Richard.
It's a good document, yeah.
So I think we can now fairly take certain questions.
Scroll up. So,
Pinky ma'am, we will need your
Madhura,
help on couple of questions. We've been asked when will we get the recording of this session?
Yes, if you will permit, then we will do this.
Sure, you can take the move ahead whenever you think it's appropriate.
Because we have to take permission of the faculty to if we want to place on our website.
So Madhura just like asked that please say a few words about working hours in this profile. I think we both can tell about ours. So for as a research analyst, I always have to be in touch with the market, in touch what is going on. So it requires a lot of time and a lot of discipline, and again a lot of reading. Like my day would start before coming to office at 9:15 probably, and I would have read like a newspaper before I come here, and it would end like it never ends. It never shuts off, but it is not extremely crazy that you cannot manage. It is all about, I think, prioritizing and compartmentalization also. That how do you manage effectively? And of course, like with experience, you are able to manage better. And even I am married here, and Neha has a toddler. So we are both able to manage because it's just about prioritizing and keeping things organized.
Luckily for me, things have worked out fairly well. When I come to office, our office starts at 9 a.m. and it works very well with me dropping my child to school and then coming back. So think it's not about the hours you deliver, but it's about the quality of hours that you give. I see a different quality that we deliver as mothers because we know that what's the next thing we have to get back to. So we make sure even if we are working for those 4 hours, 5 hours, we are giving it a 200% rather than that 100% person giving it for 9 hours. So I think that is what is important, and any boss would always want you to perform. If the work is getting done, it doesn't matter from where and how you're doing it. So that would answer anything with respect to business development and driving growth. I think that we would have answered that.
Yeah. And
which book did you guys read? We have covered that.
Will you please put in whether ICI site has any particular section for finding work from home?
Pinky ma'am, you will be able to help us with this with respect to which. Will you please put in here whether ICI site has any particular section for finding work from home, flexi work opportunities for women CAs? So at the beginning of the session, we were told about Punastya by the chairman, And that is the initiative being done.
In WRC side, there is a section networking at the end of the right on the right side, top right side on WRC portal. You can find that. In that section, you can get networking, work from home, lecture, working, all the opportunity we are posting there. If anybody want to merge their firm with any other firm or means all type of things is there, you will find that in that section.
Can you please mention?
Repeat the names of the books. All right. One Up on Wall Street. Pitch Anything. The Most Powerful Women in the Room is You. Letters by Warren Buffett. And documentary King Richard.
Yes, Rinku has
Newspapers.
actually Rinku has posted the link where they can get the
Okay.
this initiative called Punascha.
Right.
Get this कि दोबारा फिर से आ रहे हैं इसलिए.
There's few more other books I would like to mention is like basic books like Psychology of Money and Rich Dad Poor Dad, and also Same as Ever. I think we already read that in our office. It was a wonderful book.
Each of us have read 25 books in the last 1 year.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have plenty of books ideas for you. Once you're done with these, reach out to us on LinkedIn or our email.
Yes.
Ma'am, we'll request you can share the email IDs with them, and we'll be more than happy to give you those recommendations. Which newspapers, Niharika?
So
Manisha has
newspapers, Financial Times, Economic Times, then Business Standard, Business Line, Mint. All of these are wonderful newspapers. Of course, after reading of like a while, you would pick out one or two favorites. But you can just change your newspaper, stop reading Times of India probably, and just shift to some financial newspaper. It makes a sea of difference. It makes such a difference, that small thing.
Niharika, can you also highlight? I know while you say read a newspaper, but it's very difficult to read a newspaper, I would say. I mean, I find it challenging. So, can you tell us, like, what exactly and how to read a newspaper?
So for us, like when I joined Equitas, I had the same question. Like when I was doing internship, I couldn't make heads and tails of the news. And then Siddharth, who's our CIO and fund manager, he just told one thing: read only the facts and not the opinions. Only pick out the facts from the newspapers and ignore people's opinions. Keep your opinion like unbiased. Only form your opinions from very hard facts, and that is what we do. We ignore the opinions, and after a point, I think your database is slowly created, and you'll be able to pick stocks and sectors from that.
One thing that was asked somewhere in between is, something for semi-qualified CAs. So I'll say one thing is that, how I restarted my journey. If you can do that, that's the best thing first. The degree is something that will stay with you. It's your biggest asset. If you're able to crack it, I would say try that. To try that, how should you try that is, I did something very different the time when I cleared. What I did was I changed all my books because somewhere you start feeling ये तो आता है, and you just do it ऊपर ऊपर से. You are not doing it with that depth. Second approach is to do test series instead of saying I know it. Rather let the institute ask you or a teacher ask you in a question answer mode, and that's when you will realize that okay, what are the terms that I need to do? What is it that institute is looking out in that answer? That keywords to be underlined. Those were the changing factors. If doing some two things like that make you change and clear, trust me, you will, that will be your life's biggest asset. So make sure you can clear it. And in case there are certain hurdles, see, investment is a journey which can begin irrespective because you have started getting that knowledge that you need. So you could do simple things like I said about managing your own family wealth. You already have your inter CA knowledge and a half final CA knowledge. So you can begin with that, and simultaneously, if you are able to achieve the degree, also nothing like it. That will be the biggest icing on cake. Any further courses after CA that we could take up for is it required for investment and financial marketing?
So like I said,
So it's more for business development. No, with respect to if this question is for business development per se, I don't think any further courses needed. But yes, the National Stock Exchange NSE requires you to give an exam when you're selling a product. That gives you a good, fair understanding overview of what is it that you are doing in marketing and what are the prerequisites when you're selling a product, how you can guide an investor and what you cannot tell the investor. You cannot make false promises to the investor. You have to keep it real. So those are the small courses that anyway you would have to do. Can you please share your LinkedIn profile ID?
Yes.
Pinky ma'am, it would be there with you. Please share it on this chat box. We are more than happy. And I go by the name Neha Damani Bharadia. Niharika goes by
Niharika Jain.
Yes. We're happy to connect.
Um, Thank you, Meenal.
Thank you so much for the feedback that we are getting on the chat box.
I also cleared and not able to find. So, like I think we mentioned at starting at the end that
For Monica's question,
uh,
yeah, you can answer Monica's.
so now all of us, like when we were discussing for this session, we decided that even we want to take this mentorship forward, and we are also going to take interns under us. And you would hear more about it on our Twitter handle, and even we'll be posting it to ICI. And if your resume is interesting, you might get an internship with us, Monica.
Thank you everyone for the feedback.
Yeah, thank you so much. Also, our mail IDs will be shared with Pinky ma'am here. And if you want to reach out, if you're stuck anywhere, we would be more than happy to help you out.
Could you please suggest good fund houses where we can look out for research analyst roles as freshers? I think you can go to APME and find India's top performing PMS houses, and then you want to be at the best. So whoever's doing the longer term best returns, try getting in there.
But I also want to add one thing that we have, like one of my colleague here, he was sure that he wanted to get into capital market. Post clearing CA, he didn't sit for any campus placement. And he just like sat at home, made a huge database in Excel of names and email IDs and all the concerned persons possible. And he just continuously did that for a long while till the time he got one call from Edelweiss. And that is how he started his journey. And now he's a co-fund manager at Equitas. So he was very clear, you might have to take a break. It is a very long and you have to keep your patience. But make sure that you do not reduce your efforts.
Madhura's question: which opportunities are available in finance domain, like in manufacturing industry or other companies other than a fund house? You deal with a lot of
so I worked in one listed company, like I told, and there are many internal roles in a manufacturing sector that you can look into. One would be, of course, there would be an internal treasury department. What that does is how to manage day in, day out treasury. Suppose if I know that I am going to get a very huge payment from my buyer, how do I deploy that? And if there are payments to be made, say tomorrow or day after tomorrow, so that is an internal treasury department. Second, of course, would be accounts department who prepares notes to account, all of that. Third would be costing. It is again, it can be done by a chartered accountant. I have spearheaded a costing department, and it is not something that we cannot do. Fourth, of course, would be IT, which is income tax department, and fifth would be indirect taxation, which can be GST. All of this is generally headed by a CFO. So there are many internal roles which you can find in any manufacturing sector.
This one is again for you. Ma'am, what would you suggest for a person who is a CA and interested in the banking sector? What are the opportunities available there?
So generally, banks do post their requirements on LinkedIn or their channels or their websites. So when I was looking for some opportunities, I wanted to get into treasury in a banking sector. So what I did was I talked to all my friends, all my peers. Please, that is your asset. Our networking is our asset. Please reach out to other friends, other peers, your friends, brothers,
Don't shy out
Don't
in
shy.
asking. It is
And
what
send your
happens.
resume inside, because that referral resume works a lot. It helps a lot, and that is how I got an interview with ICICI and few other banks. I didn't get into there, but still, that is how you can approach them. So yeah, like please do not shy from contacting your peers and using their contacts.
To be honest, LinkedIn has become a very big
Yeah.
reach with respect to hiring. So every organization has started to put their needs out there more than any other portal. So if you just build your bio with all your experience and then reach out to such places, it will be quite advantageous. In case we've missed any questions so far,
Yeah, you can just like post it again if I was being told that banking is. I don't think that there is
Actually,
any sector which is not good for you. So I
actually, there
have
are
to tell you
many
that.
CA who are they are working in banking sector only.
And I think
Yeah,
India's banking sector is being led, and it's
yeah,
like they are
actually.
rocking. The women are rocking in banking
wealth
sector.
management also, they are doing
Yeah.
very
So bank
good
is not
numbers.
like only one segment that you go and only loan clear करना है वो job नहीं है. There are so many different roles now.
Yes,
There is wealth management. There is wealth advisory. Kotak like has a very good wealth management, wealth advisory. Like I
treasury
told you
operations
that.
are there. Treasury
Yeah.
operations are there.
There are so
Many
many
things.
women.
I saw is
Huh.
very welcoming for women, and
Yes.
that's another avenue
Yes.
that can be explored.
Like I was just seeing that from Naina Lal Kidwai, again she's a CA, she headed HSBC. From Arundhati, like so many women chartered accountants and women are leading our banking sector. So banking is not loan clearing. You can do so much in a banking sector. So please do not, shy away from
I think
it.
you have to cut out what people are saying,
Yeah.
and go sit for an interview, understand what are they offering you, and then take a call whether you fit in or not.
Because even I had those apprehensions, and I was like, okay, let me go into treasury department of a bank. So there are so many departments in a bank that you can go and apply for. So
Our pleasure.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
It's my
Hi,
hello.
Neha.
Hi, CA Neha Bharadia and CA Niharika Jain. It was my
Hello.
pleasure to have such a wonderful session because we all women are facing such a problem in any one of our stages of the life because we all must have such a problem with us. So thank you so much. It's my privilege to be a part of this wow series. I am very privileged and thankful to ICI RCM members CA Sweta Jain and WRIC members CA Ankit Rathi, CA Gautam Lad, CA Pinky Kedia to conduct such a programs to support women, CA women fraternity, and I'll extend a hearty, very heartiest thankful to you, CA Neha Bharadia and CA Niharika Jain, for giving your and sharing your valuable experience with us and knowledge with us, and giving time to us from your busy schedule. And I'll thank all the participants to make this success a wow. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you,
thank
everyone.
you, thank you so much.
And again, I am requesting all the females if they want to be a faculty or they want to coordinate any of the session, please reach out to us. And there is a form for my role at WIRC. Please fill up that form so we can connect you, we can coordinate with you, and you can help us in that matter. So give your suggestion to on which topic you want next house series. And if you want to be faculty and coordinator, please reach out to us. Thank you, Neha, and thank you, Niharika. It is a very great
Thank
session.
you, ma'am.
And
Thank you, WIRC, for giving us this chance. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
yeah, but delivery is most important. If you
Actually,
you
we
should
were very worried because how many ever WOW series we've seen, it's mostly been PPT presentations, and we here have taken a total different approach.
Yes.
So we were a little bit about, how would people like it, not like it. I'm hoping that we've been able to make few value additions in your life.
And we're happy to help and handhold you ahead also. So just reach out to us via mail IDs or our handles, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Meena, you can reach out to us on our LinkedIn. We both will be available there.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Manisha.
Manisha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
Neha.
you.
Thank you, Neha
Have a
Keria
great
also.
day.
Yeah, coordinator.
Ma'am, in case there are more questions, you can just pass on our email IDs so we can revert to
Sure,
them.
sure. We will do that. We will do that.
All right. With your permission, we will be logging out.
Sure. And we want to meet you in person also.
Yes, definitely. It will be our
Definitely, yeah.
pleasure. We are a bunch of 14 chartered accountants at Equitas. It's 14 chartered accountants, and most of which are women here. So we would love to,
Yes.
in whatever way, contribute with our journey. If it is making a difference to somebody else, that will be it will be a good sound sleep at night
Yeah,
if we realize that something changed something for someone else.
Because someone did it for us and we want to take it ahead. So
Good,
All
good.
right.
Give it all the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
you. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
soon. Have
Yeah.
a great day, everyone.